Hi, today we're talking about customer service offers in your business and the impact on your distribution network. My name's Rob O'Byrne from Logistics Bureau, and again I have today with me Matt Stedman, one of our senior staff. And in fact, Matt, we've probably worked on customer service issues and network design for 15 years? Long time. I'm thinking back to some of the first projects we did together. So if you've been watching this video series, you'll know that this is number 4. Number 1, we talked about the concept of understanding customer value, designing the service offer, and so on. And then we talked about customer value specifically. Then we talked about designing the service offer specifically. Now we're going to talk about the implications on your distribution network. So some people might be watching this and saying, well, if we understand the service offer is order now and you get your product in 4 hours, doesn't that simply mean that we have to have all of our product within 4 hours of all of our customers, and that tells us where to put the branches, surely?
If it was that simple, Rob.
If it was that simple, we'd be out of business. But
Thank you. Exactly right. We'd be out of business.
So why isn't it that simple?
Well, because I think in designing the customer service offer to start with, the best practice is to have a subset of alternative service offers, and then test network design around each one of those alternatives. To understand what the costs and the resources are which go into a network to deliver that level of service. So you may find that a same-day 4-hour service offer might cost $20 million, whereas a next-day service offer is half that cost.
Okay, good point. And when we're looking at the distribution network, I think one of the traps that people fall into is that sometimes the network grows up historically, through acquisition or range extension or something like that.
Yep.
And it's the lack of appreciation that what drives the shape of your distribution network is actually your customer service offer. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that all of the products flow through your distribution network, does it?
That's true, absolutely. And I think the thing about a CSO and the implications for network design is that it's not and should never be a one-size-fits-all. There will be parts of your customer base that genuinely may need same-day service. There might be products within your customer base which are high value and can only be centralised because it's an expensive expensive game to have inventory all over the network. So there is the nuance here of the various alternative CSOs and network design.
And I think that's something that a lot of businesses miss, is that you've got to look at that customer service offer, not just from the customer perspective. So you've got different types of customers, different industries, they have different service requirements. Everybody's got customers who are quite happy to wait a week for a product, but there are other segments where you might need something today or next day. But the same applies to the products. So some products are generally needed quite urgently, whereas others, can be just like a replenishment style product. And I think where people get it wrong, they design the network to deliver this highest level of service to all customers and for all products, which becomes extremely costly.
Oh, absolutely. And many businesses go broke doing it, unfortunately.
And in fact, we won't go there, but we have experience of a couple of industries where that has happened, sadly.
Yeah.
So I think just to recap, we've been talking about customer service, the implications on your business. You need to understand what customers want and what they value. You need to very carefully design your customer service offer and have that well communicated, both externally and internally, and then use that to design or redesign your distribution network so that you're offering the appropriate level of customer service, and I think that's the key, the appropriate level at the lowest possible price.
It's almost like you're offering the service you design. That's what the game here is
yes.
you design it.
You design it, yes, rather than it just happens.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
So, I hope you got some tips from that. We'll put the links to the other videos below, and there's lots more topics around this subject on the Logistics Bureau blog. We'll talk to you soon.